Welcome back to the series. This is going to be the updates, the second to last video, hopefully. We will see how it goes, but definitely had a bit of a struggle there. Had a bit of a rut right into like Emerald 4, Emerald 3 was definitely a place where we were struggling. We were even struggling so much that we thought, maybe we need to change our champions. So we had a small like Voliver phase where we thought maybe we just need to play a different champion, right? Obviously completely wrong, but despite that it was pretty useful because it just taught us that Udyr is definitely the champion to go with, and we need to stick with Udyr. Champion mastery is so important. It sort of reiterated the importance of champion mastery, so we just simply went back to Udyr, right? And then we started having success again, even dropped to plat a couple times, right? Again, like, climbing is not linear, climbing is, you know, up and down, and then that gains in the end, right? So it's just complete part of the process. But we finally had a breakthrough, and this is why I'm making this video. And I'm just going to sort of show you the clips and teach you guys what exactly was the breakthrough that John had that made him push from being in a little bit of plateau here and number 3 to pushing beyond. And we'll see what exactly were the results, right? I won't spoil it for you, but it went okay. It went pretty well, right? So yeah, that's pretty much going to be it. Let's hop right into the coaching clip so you guys can see what was the breakthrough that he had. Okay, so the path to bots. Let's see, pathing to bot, I believe, is correct. Makes complete sense. You know, there's always the default path to bot. And then look at this, right? So immediately after this, we know that she's going to be in a golem. She's most likely looking for a bot king. So then we want to think about how is their bot lane situation right now, right? Compared to our top. Because like top is not necessarily a lane that we want to play towards, right? So then we have two choices, right? Choice number one is to just go invade his top side, right? As a retaliation, or option number two is to actually go invade his blue side, right? Depending on how much priority we have. And I think because Lux died and we have decent priority, I guess Spit is a bit of an issue. And we're also Udyr, which I do believe our skirmishing early game is pretty strong. I think there is a world where you can actually go invade here because you have a Bard. Bard is really insanely good. Your bot is going to push. They don't need to recall yet because that kill doesn't give them that much items, right? You're sitting on 569, so really too crazy. So what I would do here is I would just go to his blue side and nip it and just play the 3v3 or play the possible 4v4. Okay. But you're clicking here. These are really good pings. Now your bot lane is looking to play safe. And she didn't take your golems, so that's really good. Now the issue is like the whole mid lane situation, right? If anything, that's what I like about you going bot is that you could match the possible bot gank, right? And you can keep playing for your win condition, which at the end of the day, Kog'Maw is sort of the champion that you want you're playing towards, which is good into Jinx, right? Good into Luciana, Velvet, Gwen might assassinate, but as long as you do front like you can be fine. But if you are not ahead, you guys will not have damage. The main also reason why Kog'Maw is so important is because he is your main source of damage, right? Ahri's not really a damage champion. She's not like a Syndra or, you know, Orianna, or even, you know, like she's more of like a utility, you know, burst. Mundo obviously a tank, you obviously a tank, Bard obviously support, right? So Kog'Maw's the only source of damage. So I think that's the main thing I would fix, right? Whenever you come into a situation, I mean, the first fix is obviously level 1 ward, right? Your Raptors. The second fix is once you do realize, then look, okay, how important is my bot lane? And will it suck to play towards Sob? And then the other thing is like, is it actually possible for me to play towards bot? Because maybe Kog'Maw is your win condition. You do want to play for bot side, but maybe they're too low health or they're getting pushed in and there's not even an opportunity anyways. Okay, then there's nothing you can do to help them, right? But in this case, where they are decent enough health and they're doing just fine, there is a world where you can just go and fight the 3v3. Right? So this will suck a little bit, especially because Kiana is a little bit of a danger. Because this is the exact move that he expects. Yep, Kiana missing means that you can't go. So we're a little bit homeless. But the thing is, like, if we are homeless, we'd rather be here so that we can maybe just like look for a gank here, right? It's like, okay, we have nothing to do. We could just gank bot lane, right? And look for something there. And then if Bel'Veth is here, we can play out the 3v3. And if Bel'Veth is not here, then we can just play out a 3v3 too, right? But now we just have to wait, right? So this becomes a very unfortunate situation. Okay. So let's go ahead and play this out. We do have this coming up. You're gonna go for this, okay? Solid. Okay, Lux didn't see you. This is really good. This should be a Kiana kill as well. She has no abilities. She might, yeah, she doesn't have flash as well. This is massive for the game, and you can just literally recall. You could actually take your raptors. They did spawn. That's totally correct. Right. Grump is up. You could look to take Grump, right? But I think honestly here, your best bet is probably just immediately recall to go defend your top side, right? Why? Because now, what I want you to understand, the thing that we talked about, why sort of invades now are so weak, or not so weak, right? But they're not really the end of the world, is because he also does you a favor leveling up your camps, right? Like, all of these respawn camps are going to be greater than any of these first-time camps, okay? So, like, immediately, it's just so much more important that you're securing these camps. Because the only way that Bel'Veth can make this invade maybe actually worth and actually beneficial is if she can take your respawns. Alright, she can deny the respawns away from you. She can level up her camps and deny your response, right? That would be how then she actually can get massively ahead, okay? So when we come into a situation, these level 1 camps are worthless. We want to play for these camps that are going to be level up and they're going to be super, super strong, okay? So instead what we should do here immediately for the Kiana gank is just immediately recall and then just run to our topside camps because Bel'Veth's here ready to attack them, okay? And okay, maybe we don't get there for the ground, okay? But at least we get there for the wolves, right? And then she's not going to be able to take 2 camps. And then we can go here, and then we can go after this, then we can just go look for a bot gank, right? Or go from there. But the issue with us going here is like, by going here, and if we give this info, and if somehow Lux or Jinx find out, then Bel'Veth has the freedom to run in here, take our Gromp, and then probably take our wolves as well. And then if we run here because we haven't known, there is even a chance that Bel'Veth from base might be able to run here, right? Or maybe she runs here. And we give her enough tempo to actually be able to contest multiple of our respawns, okay? So here the important thing is that we just immediately recall because these respawning camps are just more valuable, okay? Instead of looking for possible level 1 camps, okay? Because like now we're doing him a favor. It's like he did us a favor by leveling up our camps, right? With Raptors being tier 2, right? Well, yeah, I guess you pretty much only have Raptors. And the fact that his camps, he's not able to level up his camps. And now we're kind of doing him a favor because like this camp, I wonder how much XP this is going to give you actually. Oh, and then the other thing here is that does that give you okay amounts? So what is that, like 20%? 20%? And then obviously this is the other situation, right? It's like didn't even have enough already. And now this would be really bad. Like if Bel'Veth was good at the game, and she would take your Gromp and your wolves here on this invade, your game would be really screwed, really difficult to play. Okay. What I'm kind of understanding from even seeing this, and even from the previous review that we did today, is like there's a lot of your sort of like area of opportunity right now. Our thing we need to work on is just being able to read the game. And knowing like what matters or what really is important. Where are the resources that we need to put? Where do we need to put our time? Like what is the best path towards us killing the Nexus? And a lot of times it's just, hey, like I think we had a game where we had a Syndra and a Melee, right? Where it's like, hey, we just need to not force. Syndra and Melee, they will scale, right? Just play safe, not play safe, but we don't have the hard contest. If the enemy team has a Silas and like a Nunu or something, right, who are really good early game, okay, then not contest, right? Okay, we only contest things that are either have us like a noticeable advantage, but regardless of that, we're just playing defense until Syndra gets a couple items, and Miller can scale, and we can scale as well, right? In this game, it's like, okay, Kog'Maw Jinx are the name of the game this game, right? Yes, Kog'Maw will definitely be up to us to defend them, right, in the mid game against the Kiana assassinations, right, and the Gwen dashes. Right, but sorry, the Bel'Veth dashes, but he's our only source of damage, so we need to play with him and make sure that we are able to put him in the comfortable spot, and that we shut down Jinx as well, right? Like, Bel'Veth keeps going top, he keeps taking cancel, we get a die bot, or we get a gank bot, or we get flashes, or we chunk him, or we get dragon, right, and stuff like that. It's gonna be totally fine. I can't name you the amount of times where I'm ahead in tempo, and I'm really good at clearing my camps and all that kind of stuff, but because I don't understand the win condition or what my team needs, and I'm not there maybe bot lane to defend dives or to take advantage of the fact that they have massive priority, right? Or stuff like that, I just lose a game, right? Because I just didn't know what was important in the game. So it's the same thing that I'm seeing here, and the same thing that we saw in the last game as well. Remember with the last review where you kept, like, you went here, and then you went raptors, and then you went golems, and that didn't allow you to be able to play towards your bot side where you wanted to play towards and where you wanted to win, right? And that was your way towards the nexus, right? So win con assessment and general game plan, and how that can actually change the decision makings that we take in terms of invading and punishing tempo, and how we use our extra timings that we have, or the extra free time that we have, right? So a lot of times the enemy jungler might make like an off-tempo gank, right? And we have the opportunity to invade topside and take his cams and get ahead that way. But if that means that we're going to spend more time in our Mundo lane or our Shen lane or a lane in top that we don't really care too much about, instead of our bot lane where we have a Jinx or a Kog'Maw or a Vayne or a Titch or something that really does matter a lot, then okay, maybe it's not best to him. Maybe it's best for us to just keep clearing, and that extra tempo that we have over the enemy jungler, we use to just simply spend more time in bot lane, get some wards out of the half party, possibly take Dragon, put some wards on the map, right? And then these kind of things, so that we are able to actually protect our skilling and make sure that we have damage coming into the mid game. Because otherwise, we're going to go into a mid game where, yes, we are stronger than the enemy jungler, but we're going against a 3-0 Jinx and our Kog'Maw is 0-3, and the game is just going to be very hard to play. Okay, so sometimes it's very important that we protect our win condition, we establish it, and we align our pathing towards that. And that might mean that we skip out on some top in base because we just want to spend more time in bot lane. So that was the first breakthrough that he sort of had and understood, and in the case of John, and this was the result that he got, which is just, yeah, he just broke into Emerald 2, finally, right? Stopped, you know, kind of hovering in Emerald 4, right? Broke into Emerald 3, and then past Emerald 3, and then even into Emerald 2. So that was super solid. Okay, so let's move on to the next thing. I put this in just as a bit of a quick clip so that you guys can kind of understand when it is actually worth it for you to skip Camus, or when it's actually, or like also what a high percentage play actually looks like. And also I have obviously the replay here, and we'll definitely take a look at this really quickly again so I can explain it. But here balling just had it to be 2, right? There was a lot of fighting going on. Summoners are being burnt, etc. I would have loved for us to hover camera more so that we can see summoners. Looks like we do have here that Jinx used flash. So we know that Jinx has no flash. And obviously Darius is going to level up Lantern level 3. So he doesn't have a way to allow Jinx to be able to escape. And then you want to think naturally what you want to set about laners is after they get a kill, they always want to crash the wave so that they can recall. Right? Naturally. Every laner, that's usually what they're going to want to do. So that's where you can go gank, and it's not necessarily looking at the gank as a gank, but you're going there to contest the crash. You want to deny Jinx and Thresh the ability to come truly recall off their crash. So then you make it into a bit of a win-win situation. Either they die for the crash, or they tried to go for the crash and you kill them, or secondly, they don't crash because they have the ward, they leave, but now your bot lane has a freeze, they're going to lose like half a wave, maybe even an entire wave during the freeze, and you're going to neutralize the lead that they got through that bot lane gank from Jarvan. So it's a win-win situation regardless, right? So it's all about the wave sys. The wave sys will tell you when the gank is available. So here, we look at the situation, despite us not having E, because they are so low HP, and this is why I tell John, hey, we need to get information on the health bars, because they want to desperately get this wave on their tower so that they can recall. They're really low. Thresh has no lantern. This is a high percentage free kill that is worth you skipping camps over, which they are kind of rare depending on the league that you're in. The lower you are, the more common these opportunities are. The higher load, usually less common, but these opportunities will come up, so you can kind of see what a high percentage play looks like and what is something that is worth you skipping camps over looks like. Okay, nice.
He's gonna stop my recall. I could kill him. There is 3 on top. Yeah. Oh.
So this clip is also important. There's actually, it's a relatively quick clip, but there's 2 important things that we can take away from this, right? The very first thing is that we need to be good at spending gold. And it sounds weird. It's like, oh, just spend your gold. That's it. You know, just, guys, just recall, spend your gold. It's it's actually sounds very simple, but it is a skill, right? It is definitely a skill and something that we do need to create a habit out of. It's like, okay, we have a lot of gold. If there's no absolutely free play, which 9 out of 10 times there won't be, recall first, spend your gold, and then look to make a play on the map. It's like, we recalled, okay, great, we got a ton of gold. Just take your recall, buy your items, and now you can actually look for a play on the map, right? So that's the first thing, the ability to spend gold, and I'll actually show you an Agron clip here, so you can see how he applies this. But the second thing is we also just need to have the consistency of looking at items, right? Always get a quick check-in. What is the enemy's items compared to ours, right? Because John here is like, I think I can kind of win him. It's like, you want to rationalize it, or not necessarily rationalize it, but you want to get what information will allow us to come to the correct decision of if we win the 1v1 or not. Well, obviously levels is going to be one, right? You know, ultimate is as well another one, right? What abilities do they have, right, compared to ours? If we even have Awaken or not, right? But really, most importantly, is just going to be items. That's going to be one of the most important things, right? So we see he's actually almost done with a second item. We only have the Andres, and we have 1.8k gold, right? So we are noticeably behind in items. And he hasn't used any of his abilities, right? So it's like, okay, maybe we would win this. If we wait for him to use his QWE on the wave, right? And now he has no abilities. Okay, that's a chance that we can make up for the item deficit that we have, okay? Or if we have Awaken, maybe we can actually make time and attack from this way. If we have Awaken, okay, that's the condition for us to be able to win this fight, right? So it's so important. This fight is not entirely bad. It's just like, number one, we need to check in on items, know that he's ahead in items. And number two, it's like, because we have an item disadvantage, there needs to be something that gives us an edge, or that justifies it, or that makes up for the deficiency, right? What would that thing that would make up for deficiency would be if he uses QWE on the wave, no longer has that for the fight. So we can get one rotation ahead in the fight. Maybe that can be enough. Or we have Awaken, right? Either of those ones would be maybe conditions for us to win the fight. So it's just like, okay, understanding that is what's going to allow you to decide if you can actually win 1v1s from now. But yes, spend gold, always have a quick check-in. Who has items? How's their item situation look like? And if you're going to gank someone, ideally wait for them to use their abilities on the wave, so that when you go to 1v1, they don't have the abilities. Alright, so this is the Agron clip that I wanted to bring in to you guys, so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about in terms of spending gold. So we see that Agron is actually ahead. To kind of give you guys context, they full cleared, fought a crab, he won a crab, and now he's on his second full clear, okay? Which usually, if possible, there might even be a timer for you to do dragon, right? So notice this, right? So he actually goes, he's on a second clear, right? Finishes the wolves, right? Let me skip ahead. Finishes the gromp as well. But notice what he does, right? After he gets this gromp, we're going to see that he actually has enough gold for hardstuck alternator. Hardstuck alternator is actually a pretty decent component. Can definitely be pretty powerful as well. And he's waiting for Aphelios to get back on the map as well, right? So again, this is what I mean. Like, before you're going to make a proactive play, and proactive play means possibly looking for a gank, possibly looking for a dragon, looking to contest grubs, looking for an invade, just looking for a general play on the map. There's going to be a lot of situations where just, if you have gold and you have relevant items, recall, unless there's like an immediate option right now to do something, recall, spend your gold, and then make something happen on the map. Obviously, if there was like a free gank bot and we're playing like Jarvan or Rexa or something and we have more tools to gank, of course we're not going to recall, right? We're going to go and gank, right? It would be weird to recall in this situation. But if there's nothing going on the map and you plan on fighting dragon, fighting grubs, looking for an invade, or just generally looking for things that are not available right now at this moment, but they might be in the future, and you're waiting for your camps to come up, use that timer with your full gold spend so that you're at your strongest possible, right? So notice what Agron does here. He finished the gromp and then actually recalls here. And then after he recalls, he has plenty of tempo because he has like an entire like minute until he has to recall and be on time for his golems. And then he buys his items, hardstuck alternator, gets himself a pink, I believe. Yeah, gets himself a pink. And then runs back to the same side because he wants to play for dragon. He just wanted to make sure that he was at his strongest, so he recalled first. And now he's actually going to be able to take the dragon. And he has a pink as well, so he can pink the dragon to guarantee that they won't have information of the health bar, or if he's in it at the time. And then because of that, obviously gives time for his volley to Aphelios to come back and get priority. And then he's able to pick up the dragon, right? And now he's going to go back and, you know, be slightly late to his camps, but he's probably going to be there in time where the enemy jungler can't contest. So this was also like, hey, sometimes just spend your gold and then go make the play. Okay?
Yeah, we can go straight to Drake. He's here right now.
Just careful for Malzarus moving over from mid lane, so you need to pull this out.
They had vision on the Drake.
If they live, it's honestly not that bad. Okay. So there's actually a lot of learning from this clip, and this is actually a game losing mistake that it could turn to that have very easily been a game winning mistake. So we have a massive advantage in Caitlyn. Caitlyn is definitely ahead. Kai's is in a situation where she wants to desperately take a recall. So this is good. When we force the enemy to carry through to stay in lane because, they need to help with the dragon, it's going to be really good, right? Now we need to be careful of the falling because we also have massive jungle tempo. And for Trundle to be on dragon in time, he has to skip his camps. And if he skips his camps, we just get free tempo because we're waiting for our next camps to come up while his camps are up. So he's wasting a lot more time and efficiency. So dragon in cases like these can be a tool to take advantage of that tempo. And then either if Trundle keeps clearing and they do nothing, we get a dragon. But if they come and they skip the waves and bots, the only one that can freely move is Malzar, right? Because he would be able to move risk-free. He would even move first move, push the wave, and then move. No problem at all. But if Trundle skips waves and Kai'Sa skips waves and then she has to stay, all we have to do is do nothing, disengage, and then they're just going to be behind in tempo. They're going to lose a bot wave for free. Trundle's going to get behind it, even further behind in tempo. And then Hui can simply TP back, push the next one, and now when Hui is back, now we can play the game, and now we can look for an aggressive 4v4 our dragon that we do win because our Caitlyn is ahead, and our Hui is fresh from a recall, and we'll hit level 6 on the next wave. So that's the mentality that we could even just like, we have so much. That's the mentality that we should go in with this play. So when we go like this, we should be like, okay, notice your wave states. And again, the wave states dictate the game. Caitlyn's going to push this, and then she needs to move. And then we need to wait until we see Kai'Sa respond. Malzar can move after this wave. And Trundle, we even ping. We know Trundle, right, can move here. Nautilus is also missing. So we need to hit the dragon, drag it this way towards our bot lane, and then wait for Kuwait to be in a position where she can match. They have a small window here where Malzar, Trundle, and Nautilus can force here 3v3, and Kai'Sa can skip the wave, right, as they did, and they could win if we give them the opportunity to do something. But if we don't give the opportunity, they're going to move. They're not going to achieve anything. Hui is going to groove, and then we're just going to force a winning 4v4, win the 4v4, take the dragon. Game is pretty much over from there, okay? So we take the dragon, right? But then the mistake that we make here is going for this ward. So now we're in terrible positioning because now we're going to get collapsed on, and we're not dragging the dragon outwards so that we're close to our bot lane, because this is completely illegal. We should be over here ready to pounce on the Kai'Sa for even she's skipping a wave and she's moving here. So this would not just be 300 gold, it will also be minus the 100 gold that she's going to get over here. It's going to be a 400 gold swing on the Kai'Sa, and then we can easily turn to 3-3 or just make time, wait for the way to clear this wave and then rotate, and then we have a winning 3v3, and then we would easily win the game here, right? But the mistake is we're looking for a ward against a Trundle who doesn't really have a way to dash, who our purpose here is not even to, we're not even in a position where you can finish the dragon anyways, right? Because we're playing to delay their tempo. We're playing to make sure that we get an even bigger tempo advantage. We're playing it slow, right? And be patient, right? This is when we junglers need to be patient. It's like, we could spam ping the Hui to TP to the pink and to just rotate immediately, skip the wave, but no, like, we don't want our laners to ever need to skip waves to help us. There will be situations where they need to, but we can also just wait and be patient. Let them push the waves first, and then let them rotate afterwards, and then we're going to be fine, right? This is not the end of the world. So then we have to use and then whenever you have to use EE in the fight as Udyr, it feels extremely bad, because EE is like 10% of the power, like Awaken W, Awaken R, even Awaken E are just a million times more useful than Awaken E. Awaken Q, W, and R are a million times more useful than Awaken E. So it's always going to feel bad when we have to do this, right? And then we die here. Malzar flash ults, we die here, and then they continue to kill the Caitlyn. And then not only they kill the Kalim, but they also end up killing the Hui here. And then this complete turns the game. Right? And we pretty much lose the game off that play. So if we simply drag the dragon over here, right? We catch Kaisa, or she can go here. They try to engage, we simply disengage. We wait for Hui to come. Once Hui comes, we can force the 4v4, right? They can't finish the dragon beforehand. And now Kaisa lost the wave mid, lost the wave bot, Trundle's behind in temple, and they didn't even get the dragon, nor did they win the fight. And we would win the game easily from there. Okay, so hopefully it's understand. But the main takeaway is just be patient with the laners, let the waves go. If the enemy team skips waves to rotate, just disengage, right? And let Kaisa miss a wave for free, right? Just disengage and wait till your laners can group, okay? So yeah, those ended up being the main things that we worked on. Win condition being the big one. We're not just like, oh, play to your win condition. No, it's like, how does it actually look like in the real game? How does it actually shape our pathing and our decision making and our tempo and our invade opportunities? Does it actually align to your win condition? How do we make it align towards our win condition? It was a big one. Among all the other things that we looked at, which were also super, super important. But yeah, applying those things and working on those things is what made him get this result, which was him getting Emerald all the way to Emerald 1. He was actually 2 wins away from ending the challenge and completing the big goal of getting to Diamond. But that's just how climb works. You know, you get close, you go back down, you go back up, right? But in the climb, it's just important that if we're going to take a step back, I mean, we always take a step back, but that we always take 1 step back so that we take 2 steps forward, right? So that we go down, naturally, eventually it's going to be, but so that we can go even further up than we have ever before. So that's how we want to treat it climbing. And yeah, no, really good job to John. I mean, Emerald 1, we're getting really close, right? I think we have about 2 weeks left, like around 13 days, I think 12 days exactly left. To make it happen, 12 real days of him actually playing the game. Obviously, we're not counting. If he has a day where he's not playing the game, we're not going to count that day, you know, because he's actually not playing games. We're counting days where he's actually playing the game, right? So we're going to see if he's able to do it. We're going to really go hard. We're very close. We're currently, I believe, in Emerald 2-ish, right? We're very close to making it happen. So wish us the best of luck, and hopefully the last episode, episode 7, will be us congratulating and celebrating the massive success. But yeah. Good job for John for the massive work ethic. Shout out to him. Check out his Twitch if you want to see his progress. I don't know if he's going to be streaming or not. He might not stream because he wants to focus really hard. We'll see. But I'll link his Twitch anyways for you guys to check it out to see the progress. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. And yeah, have a great rest of your day, boys.